गुड इवनिंग। आपका ये पावर ग्रिड के लिए है इंटरव्यू?
Yes.
ओके सत्यम, सो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल इंट्रोड्यूस योरसेल्फ।
Sir, my name is Satyam Mahajan. I belong to the city of Temples, Jammu. I am an electrical engineering graduate from IIT Jammu. My father is a professor in Government Engineering College and my mother works in the J&K Forest Department. My hobbies are to watch and play cricket, and recently I have developed some interest in following international news.
International news?
Yes.
Since from what time?
Sir, basically from last year when the Afghanistan crisis was happening and recently during the Russia-Ukraine war.
Okay. So first of all, you are an IITian. Yes. And you may have a lot of job opportunities there.
Yes, sir.
So what thing attracted you towards power grid?
Yes, sir. Sir, in our IIT, there were quite a lot of job opportunities, but mostly the companies that were coming were involved in the IT sector. And personally, I was much more inclined towards a job in a public sector undertaking because public sector undertakings are the most prestigious companies in the country, and they contribute a lot towards nation building. And particularly if I come towards power grid, then being an electrical engineering graduate, I always wanted to work in a core electrical company. And Power Grid is a prestigious Maharatna company. So to be associated with itself is an honor in itself. So Power Grid is also involved in various fields like transmission and smart grids, etc. So it will provide great learning opportunities to me. And also Power Grid has been awarded as the best company to work for. So for a fresher like me, there can't be a better option to start my career. So that's why I was interested in joining Power.
Okay. So is there any work of power grid in your area, Jammu?
Yes, sir. So Power Grid is currently operating a lot of substations, and also recently there has been a project that is given to the Power Grid, that is Palm to Cathal HPCL transmission line, which is of 400 kilovolt plus minus rating.
Okay. Okay. Tell me one thing.
Yes.
We are a country.
Yes.
And we have our grids, different grids.
Yes.
And we are moving towards national grid, right?
Yes.
So are we connected through the electricity department or transmission lines of any other country also?
Yes, sir.
Through which?
Sir, currently there are many transmission lines across the border with countries like Nepal and Bhutan. And recently there was a transmission line which was inaugurated of 132 kilovolt. That is called the Solu transmission line between India and Nepal. So currently cross-border transmission lines are basically with Nepal and Bhutan.
Do we supply electricity to Nepal or we get electricity from Nepal?
Sir, it is both the ways. We supply also and we receive also, because Nepal is also enriched with rivers, so it has the potential to produce hydroelectric power. And similarly, India is also a producer of electricity, so we give also and we receive.
In which form of energy?
Yes.
You see the future of India?
Sir, currently most of the production of electricity is from thermal energy, but in future there is a lot of scope of renewable energy, especially solar energy, since India is a tropical region and rich in sunlight, and also the government is also focusing more on renewable energy. So I think in future there will be more focus on renewable.
Satyam, right, nowadays a lot of job opportunities are coming in your home UT J&K also.
Yes.
Okay, and if you join Power Grid, then you may need to work outside Jammu.
Yes.
Okay, maybe in Bihar or maybe in any state in South. Okay, yes, anywhere, maybe in Gujarat or Rajasthan, anywhere. So, will you be comfortable while working at a distance from your hometown?
Absolutely, sir. So, because I am a fresher and I don't have any bias towards working because I don't have any experience of working either in my home state or outside. So being a fresher, there is no bias for me to work in my home state or outside. And if the company is power grid, then whether it is my home state or outside, the learning opportunities would be the same. And also during the filling of the applications, there has been a preference that is given by the applicants for their job locations. So whatever job location is assigned to me, I will be happy to join.
Okay. So you have interest in international affairs, right?
Yes.
Can you tell me capital of Ukraine?
Pardon, sir?
Can you tell me where is capital of Ukraine?
So the capital is Kiev.
Kiev. Okay. And what is the currency?
Sir, I'm not so sure about the currency.
Okay. So recently our Prime Minister has visited to Europe.
Yes, sir.
So how many countries and which countries he visited?
Sir, the Prime Minister visited 3 countries, that is Denmark, Germany, and France.
Okay, Denmark, Germany, and France.
France.
So in Denmark, who is their Prime Minister or President?
Sir, the Denmark is a constitutional monarchy where there is a queen as the head of the state and the government is run by the Prime Minister.
So have you seen recently pics of that queen with our Prime Minister?
Yes.
So what is the name of her?
Sorry, sir, I don't remember.
Okay. So now tell me about your life, final goal of your life. Means suppose you join, right now you are a fresher, okay?
Yes.
You are not married also. So you are in search of a good job and you join Power Grid. But in later stage, what are your plans?
Sir, as a professional, I want to succeed to some positions of responsibility so that I could lead some the better projects in the company and prove to be an asset for the power grid. And on a personal note, I I uh,
So
I want to live a happy life.
okay. Last question from my side that in India, what is the one frequency on which our whole electricity system is working?
So 50 hertz.
50 hertz. And in all countries, is it 50 hertz or different?
No, sir. In United States, for example, the frequency is 60 hertz.
So what is that? Why is this so difference of 10 hertz in India and USA, and how it makes difference?
Sir, the difference in India and US in terms of frequency is because India was following the British system, and all of the equipments in India uh, are based upon the 50 hertz frequency. And in case of 60 hertz frequency, I'm not sure, but I think uh, there are less losses. But sir, I'm not sure.
Okay. Satyam.
Yes.
Rajiv sir, you can continue now. Rajiv sir.
Okay, Satyam. So you are applied for the power grid.
Yes.
Okay. So in which year you have completed your B.Tech?
Sir, I completed B.Tech in last year, 2021.
Okay. Okay. So in the power grid, what do you think? What is the major work?
So the major work that power grid is doing is transmission of electricity.
That power grid?
Transmission of electricity.
Okay, so what are the PSU that comes under the power grid?
Pardon, sir?
What are the other PSUs, subsidies PSU of this power grid?
So one of the subsidiary of Power Grid is CTUIL, Central Transmission Utility of India Limited.
Mm-hmm.
So that is
So,
involved in the transmission of electricity between
between?
interstate transmission of electricity.
Okay, so what is it difference between the transmission and distribution?
The transmission of electricity refers to the transmission of electricity in high voltage, like 132 kilovolt or 220 kilovolt and above. Whereas from one substation to the other substation, whereas in case of distribution, the the supply of electricity is at much lower voltage, like 33 kilovolt or 11 kilovolt, to the consumers.
Okay, so tell me one thing, that what is load factor, and from your side, what are the method to improve this load factor?
The load factor refers to the ratio of average power to the maximum power,
Hmm.
and in order to improve the load factor uh, from consumer side, you are asking, sir?
Yeah, from the consumer side, like from the your side.
Sir, from the consumer side, in order to improve the load factor, for example, for the farmers, there should be they should use most of the electricity during night time, so that when the demand of power is less, at that time they can use, and also for the industries, so that the load factor is
Load factor is?
increased.
Okay, what is the relation between the capacity factor and load factor?
Capacity and
Load factor.
uh, the capacity factor is the ratio of
Is the ratio of?
it is the ratio of maximum power to the plant capacity, and whereas the load factor is the ratio of average power to the maximum power demand.
So what is the relation?
But relation is like
Okay, when we come to the power generation, in the power plant, there are four type of reserves: hot reserve, cold reserve, spinning reserve, and freeing reserve. What are these type of reserve, and what does this refer to?
sir, I didn't understand the question. Sir, can you please repeat?
What is hot reserve?
Sorry, sir, I am not aware.
Okay, tell me something about this renewable energy resources, and what are the government initiative regarding the development of this renewable energy resource, like in the
Sir,
solar, wind?
renewable energy refers to the energy that is derived from non-conventional sources like solar, wind,
Mhm.
and hydropower, etc. And
Mhm.
the government schemes for renewable energy are uh,
Like?
like establishment of solar farms, wind farms, etc. for the generation of electricity from these uh, non-renewable resources. From the renewable resources. And for the and general electricity schemes for the consumers are like Saubhagya scheme and BPCL for the Gram Jyoti Yojana scheme.
Okay. What is the total installed electrical energy capacity of India?
So the total installed capacity is 399.5 gigawatts.
Okay, tell me one thing.
Yes.
When we talk about the load flow,
Yes.
then what is the first thing that's comes in our mind, that why we study the load flow, and what is the main objective behind studying this load flow?
The load flow refers to the flow of power between one bus to the other bus, from one substation to the other substation, and the main agenda for studying the load flow is to analyze the uh, difference between the demand and the supply, like which region is demanding more power and where there is a surplus, so that the power can be transmitted from the surplus region to the demanding region.
Okay. So in the load flow, like we study the four technique. Okay.
Yes.
Gauss-Seidel method, Newton-Raphson method. So in the Gauss-Seidel method, it is said to be less accurate when compared to the Newton-Raphson method, or the Gauss-Seidel method take the more time when compared with the Newton-Raphson method. So what actually Gauss-Seidel do? I'm asking about the point that why it take the less time and why in the Newton-Raphson it take the more time.
Sir, Newton-Raphson method take more time per iteration, but the overall iterations in Newton-Raphson method is less, because the Newton-Raphson method we are calculating a Jacobian matrix, so that uh, the number of iterations are less. So that's why per iteration Newton-Raphson method is taking more time.
What actually happened in the Gauss-Seidel method? What value we have to guess that what is the initial value and what this initial value is referred to?
So in the Gauss-Seidel method, the value that we are guessing is the voltage and the angle delta. And
Mhm. No, we are saying na Gauss-Seidel method, we are taking the initial guess, but what actually does it do?
sorry, sir, I'm not able to.
Okay, comes in the stability factor, like we are studying load flow for the voltage and the active power and the reactive power, voltage and angle value. But when the load angle, is, we are saying that for the reactive power, we have to introduce the excitation, and for the active power, we have to increase the steam flow or the frequency. For the frequency control, we are increasing the steam flow. So when the angle is above the 90 degree, okay, then what about the stability of the system?
So for the
And
angle, yes,
for the
sir.
angle get up the 90 degree, and what type of relay we are using to for the rectification purpose?
So for angle above 90 degree, the dp by d delta value is negative. So the system becomes unstable. And in order to correct this defect, the relay used is uh,
Hmm.
the relay used is
Yeah, tell me. Okay, talking about the relay, what is IDMT relay and what
yeah,
is inverse relay? What is very inverse relay? And what is the relation between them?
the IDMP relay refers to inverse definite minimum time relay. It
Hmm.
it works on the it works as an inverse relay. Like if the fault current is high, the time required by the relay is less, but the relay functions only after a definite time. Whereas in case of an inverse relay, the relay works as there is no definite minimum time required by the relay to work. As soon as there is a fault, if the fault value is high, the relay will work in a less time, and vice versa.
Okay. How many type of insulation are there? Insulation disc.
So you're asking for the materials.
Yeah, materials.
So the insulation is made of like porcelain, glass, polymers, etc.
Okay. What is arcing ground?
So arcing ground refers to when the neutral point of the star connection is not connected to the ground. So, uh, so in case of a fault, the phase voltage becomes equal to the line voltage, which can
Mhm.
damage the equipment which work on single phase. So that is called arcing ground.
Okay, suppose you got selected in the PGCIL and if there is a fault and there's a line to ground fault and the worker have gone there for rectification purpose,
Yes.
then what are the things that you ensure? And also considering the point of step potential, how can you teach them to avoid to get safer using step potential? Sorry, yes, using a step potential.
So for the overall safety, firstly the circuit breaker has to be opened and the isolators have to be opened and the earth switch has to be closed so that the charges present on the line are discharged. And for the step potential, in order to be safe from the step potential, the worker that is going for the rectification should hop with both the feet together so that there is no potential difference between the two steps and he does not get a shock. So he should jump with both his feet together in order to reach the fault zone.
Okay, for the line to ground fault, what are the things that you have to take into the consideration? Like in the area, if there is a huge potential being developed and the power is cut off from the one source, so isn't it you check that what type of distribution is this? Thereafter, you cut off the supply. It might be the ring distribution. Then cutting from the one end that will be not with the rectification issue. So first, what will you do?
So firstly, where the fault has occurred, the circuit breaker of that zone will open, and the isolators around that circuit breaker will open so that it will disconnect the faulty zone from the rest of the circuit, and then the maintenance can be done. The rest of the circuit will function as like for in case of a ring system, if the fault zone is disconnected from the rest of the system, it will work like a radial system.
Okay, Mahajan.
Yes,
Yeah, from the technical point of view, my interview is over. So few things you have to take in the point.
yes,
When they ask anything, okay, it's good that you take the time and 1 second thereafter you are delivering the answer. That is the good thing that I've noticed. And while explaining the thing in the midway of the question, if you don't know the answer,
yes.
please don't take so much time.
Okay,
Okay, it has been observed that you are taking the time, and the last you are saying, "Sir, I don't know."
okay.
And also, please go through the power plant. How many type of reserves are there? Okay, how these power plant actually work? Because they will ask the question on the power plant. Might be there is a chance that they will
Yes,
ask.
yes, sir.
Okay, and also about the stability part, like in the synchronous generator, the load angle issue. Please go through this once.
So for stability or load flow.
No, stability and load flow both are related, na?
Okay, yes,
Like in the load flow, we are applying the voltage and angle, and for the stability purpose, this voltage and angle have to be verified. So these two are related, and also go through the load flow. What is Gauss-Seidel method, and what this initial value is, and why we are taking this?
yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Sir,
So,
what was the answer for that question? For dp by d delta less than 0, 90 degree greater than 90, the relay that is to be used.
yeah, loss of excitation, na? Increase of excitation.
Okay, 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 okay. Yes, sir. Then offset to relay. Loss of,
Yeah, it is simple, na?
sir, I click नहीं हुआ दिमाग में कि वो loss of excitation.
क्लिक करना पड़ेगा ना, चीजों को समझो एक बार. Okay, sir.
हेलो
Yes, sir.
जी सत्यम.
Yes.
तो आपका परफॉर्मेंस तो ठीक है, जो भी आंसर किए हैं तुमने तो चल जाएंगे सारे के सारे. बस ये जो सप्लाई वाला पूछा था ना मैंने, एक बहुत ही कॉमन क्वेश्चन है.
कौन सा
50 50
yes
हर्ट्ज
sir,
वाला।
yes sir, yes sir, yes sir.
देखो इंडिया जो है ना वो एक गर्म उसमें आता है, गर्म कंट्री है इंडिया, मतलब टेम्परेचर यहाँ पे ना काफी ज्यादा होता है।
Yes.
तो फ्रीक्वेंसी अगर इससे ज्यादा बढ़ाएंगे तो यहाँ पे उससे क्या है, टेम्परेचर, इलेक्ट्रिकल सिस्टम का टेम्परेचर ज्यादा बढ़ सकता है।
Okay.
तो बर्निंग हो सकती है, फायर ज्यादा लगने के चांस बढ़ जाते हैं। जबकि ये जो अमेरिका है वो ठंडा देश है, वहां नॉर्मल टेम्परेचर कम रहता है, इसलिए वो फ्रीक्वेंसी ज्यादा रख लेते हैं। ये एक मेन रीजन है, ठीक है। और उसके
Yes.
अलावा तुम देख सकते हो अलग अलग रीजन, बट ये प्राइमरी मेन रीजन है, ठीक है।
Yes.
तो कर लो अच्छे तरीके से, पावर ग्रिड के बारे में थोड़ा और पढ़ लेना, और करेंसी भी पढ़ लेना उसकी, जब क्योंकि तुमने जो न्यूज 2 क्वेश्चन मैंने पूछे वो तुमसे, वो तुमने नहीं बताए, तो उनका नाम देख लेना एक बार, क्योंकि तुमने हो भी बताई है ये, तो क्वेश्चन बन सकता है ना।
Yes.
प्राइम मिनिस्टर की फोटो उसके साथ में काफी वो मीटिंग हुई थी ना मैम के साथ में,
Yes.
तो नाम पूछ सकते हैं उनका क्या था, ठीक है। तो इनको देख लो एक बार, रिसेंट विजिट जो है, और ग्लोबल समिट कोई भी रिसेंटली हुई हो, और स्पेशली एनर्जी सेक्टर में, तो उस पर फोकस कर लेना, ठीक है। और पावर ग्रिड के सारे प्रोजेक्ट, पावर ग्रिड के जैसी कोई और कंपनी बाहर किसी कंट्री में भी होती है क्या, ठीक है, और मेन काम क्या है इंडिया में इसका, ये सारा कुछ एक बार स्टडी कर लो।
सर जो